Hello. Hello and welcome, my dears. How's it going, everybody? I hope that you are having an okay time. I'm having an okay time so far. I want to say hello to the YouTube chat really quick. YouTube chat, we have... oh, hold on. It's not in the correct order. So we have Kara and Claudes. We have Curse. There's Amel, Force Cat Animations, Speedy Shimeji. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the people in the YouTube chat. And then, of course, we have the real ones over here on the website chat. We got Baphomet, Trout Dealer. Oh my gosh, the Raccoon Pope, Blue Spectra, Chaotic NB. Hello, a spooky bed hair over there in the YouTube chat. Hello, everybody. Yeah, so, excuse me, I hope that you're doing okay. I am anticipating that we're going to have kind of a short stream today. And here's why. We're going to have a little bit of a short stream today because I had a minor surgery done on the inside of my mouth, and it's fine for the most part. It kind of hurts to swallow a little bit, right? And I haven't been talking very much. So now that I am talking very much, I'm aware of the fact that it hurts. So today I'm anticipating that we're gonna do our chill hangout at the beginning here for like maybe 30 minutes. And then we're gonna do the Keffals thing. The Keffals thing is the most important thing that I want to get to today. Keffals' video where she addresses the Tenderqueer problem within the queer community. I really want to talk about that. And then once we're finished with that, we'll kind of have to evaluate where we're at as far as it hurting for me to talk. Because here's what happened. First of all, hit like on the video. If you're just coming in, it's appreciated. We'll get a slight bump in viewers. There's like a discrepancy of about 10 concurrent viewers versus 10 likes, or 14 versus 24. I watched it and I think she is right. Yeah, I watched it, most of it anyway. Nearly burnt ourselves out cooking from being so tired. Didn't do it though. Is safe. That's good. I'm glad you all didn't burn yourselves out. The Tenderqueer problem, I'm already worried what that is about. Don't worry, Kadak NB. It's nothing I haven't already talked about before. What's up, Dant Cat Lord? Y'all know that I complain periodically about woke scolds and SJWs, and I'm like, I'm a former SJW, or like a reformed SJW, or whatever. That's kind of the subject of conversation. We'll get into it in more detail in a minute. I feel like I'm talking kind of slow, because here's what happened. Here's why the stream is going to be short. Here's why I'm talking kind of slow. Because I have had a wart in my back of my mouth / throat area. It's like these two, they're like at the very back of your mouth, there's these two things where like you can go ah and like they come out like this, or you can go like eh and they go like ugh, and it like, you know, this is part of your mouth and the back of your throat that goes like this. And there's like a wart on this side, the gunglers. I think it might be like it's your tonsils. I'm not totally sure. I don't think it's the tonsils. Maybe though. It's like back there though. I've had a wart there that I first noticed in like February of 2021. So it's been there a while. When I first got it looked at, they were like, yo, bro, it's going to cost like $6,000 to get that removed. And you're going to have to go under general anesthesia. And I was like, fucking why? And they were like, cuz. And I was like, all right, I'm going to trust your medical opinion. What's up, Analia? So, and what's up, Nuvenal? But the thing is that in the year and a half since I first noticed that it was there, it has recently changed shape, which is not good, because it changing shape could indicate that it being cancerous, right? So I was like, oh, well, shit, I have to get a biopsy done. And I went in and got it looked at again. And he was like, for sure, yeah, it's definitely changed than the last time you've been in here. And we're going to go ahead and get a biopsy done. And he was like, I'll cut as much of it off as I can, but I might not be able to get all of it. And I was like, okay, great. And then I went in this past week. I went in on Tuesday, actually, which is why we didn't stream on Tuesday. I missed you all. It's been almost a week since I've seen you. What's up, Claude? Hello. So I got it removed fully. I was not expecting that. I was expecting them to only take part of it off. But he ended up, like, I don't want to go into too much gory detail and, like, whatever. But, like, this thing in my throat, like it was like a centimeter, you know, all around, like a centimeter big. And it got cut off with like surgical scissors, right? So, and then they used a chemical that just looked like black ink to like cauterize it. They were like, this is gonna like cauterize it. And I was like, oh, so it's like a chemical burn? And they're like, yeah, so it's like a chemical burn. So basically that happened on Tuesday, and I haven't been talking a whole lot over the last couple days, and I'm trying to take swallowing easy also because it doesn't feel awesome. So yeah, it's totally gone though. He managed to cut all of it off instead of just part of it, which is great news for me. And it's going to be biopsied, and there's like a less than 1% chance that it's cancerous. So in any case, it's all been removed. So now I'm just waiting for it to heal, and I'm hoping that I'll be, you know, right as rain in a few days, because stuff in your mouth tends to heal kind of quickly. So ding dong, the witch is dead. Yeah, I don't want to start smuggy chat too early tonight, but like having an HPV wart in your throat, it dampens some of the activities that you can engage in with your monogamous partner. And I didn't expect to find out that that was going to be a thing. Hope that your recovery will go well. Yeah, me too. Person says, ow, I've had my tonsils removed and the areas they cauterize hurt so bad. It's crazy for a day or two. Glad it's improving-ish. Yeah, it's going okay. By the way, since we're at the sort of close to the top of stream, and speaking of monogamous partners, can someone in, actually, if someone in the YouTube chat would like to check this as well, in the website chat and the YouTube chat, we have a command called move. If you type !move, that would be very useful to me. I would appreciate it. Let's make sure the bots are working today. I should get the HPV vaccine. I just got started taking the HPV vaccine. Apparently the bot doesn't work on YouTube. That's very annoying. I set it up earlier and it just didn't want to do it. Okay, I guess it only works on the website still. That's annoying. Anyway, I have a little GoFundMe going because I am about to move into a new apartment and I need some help. And also I don't own anything that I use in my kitchen, so I could use some help getting the things that a person needs in a kitchen when they've never lived by themselves before. That would be very useful. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. But yeah, the dang old bot just don't work in the YouTube chat no more. Can't figure out fucking why, but okay. Just take it. I'll just take it. Like a good bitch. I'm twice vaxxed now, new COVID and flu, just scraped together enough weed for a bowl for the achy army pain. Well, I hope that it's enough, that it makes it a little bit easier for you. I thought you said we weren't doing smuggy chat. Shake my head. I know. It's just a little bit early in the day to be doing smuggy chat, okay? But I am excited. I can't lie. Anyway, so I hope that you all have been doing okay. I had a great weekend, though. Like, I realized, like, I'm a little bit complaining about my throat thing, but I had a great weekend. I ended up making a lot of money at my side job this weekend, which was great. I have nothing smuggy to say today. Uh-oh. It's a bad day for Baphomet. Oh, it's a good thing that you have nothing smuggy to say? Okay, I was about to say it's a bad day for Baphomet if he has nothing smuggy to say. Yeah. I made commission this weekend. I was making sales. Oh, it's good that you made money over the weekend. Yeah. Yeah, I made commission this weekend instead of just doing the like little side work that I do usually. So I made so much money. It was great. I was excited. It feels good when you earn it, you know? I've been getting extra money anyway. I've been getting extra money anyway this month because of the GoFundMe, but it feels good when you're like, damn, I earned it, you know? Andrea, what's up? Sisukara's partner. Hey, how's it going? Welcome in. It's always fun when people like drag their partners into this nonsense that we partake of here, and in the great old grand YouTube. And what's up, Jesse? How's it going there too? Has anyone visited Spirit Halloween this year? Just while we're warming up and talking about it, I went last week to Spirit Halloween. I decided to go to the biggest Spirit Halloween that I could find in the nearby area. I bought this giant can of beer and can barely stomach it. I'm still trying to finish it because I want my money's worth. Jimsy, you can just like put fucking plastic wrap over the top of the beer and put it in the fridge. That's what I do. Like sometimes I crack open a third beer and I'm like, wow, I'm drunk. That's too much beer, actually. And then I put it in plastic wrap over the top and then I put it back in the refrigerator, you know? We don't have those in Europe. Oh yeah, I saw Baphomet, you posted about if you finished Homestuck and you've been depressed ever since. Have you been depressed because you just don't have any you don't have any story left to read, or is the ending of the story not good? By the way, 35 people here. If you are here and you have not yet hit the like button, please consider hitting the like button. Babes, oh my god. Because we're going to react to this Keffals video here pretty soon. Maybe in about 10 or 15 minutes. We always hang out first. Never set foot in a Spirit Halloween. I only like the taste of White Claw when it's flat. Oh, rip. The ending was phenomenal. I just don't have much else to do. Fair enough. Hi, Anansi. Oh, and also hi, Mars. I got myself a skeleton shirt and a half skull gator banana at Spirit Halloween. Nice. Anansi says, I went out as a cat girl on Sunday. I got mad compliments. How are you? I'm doing okay. My throat hurts a little bit because oh, hi, Mars. True. Because I had a minor surgery earlier this week, but I'm doing okay. And the GoFundMe is doing pretty good. I really wish that it worked in the chat there, but instead I'm just gonna have to paste it. So GoFundMe, Amazon wishlist. I kind of realized that if you have an Amazon wishlist that has to do with equipping you with the household items that you need when you're exiting your marriage, it's like the opposite of a wedding registry. It's like when people get married, they make a wedding registry, right? So like technically right now, the link that I just posted in the YouTube chat and the link when you type !move in the website chat is it's a divorce registry. Help me by buying me a toaster because I don't have one of those. It's great. Feels so good to beg. Hello, Gayfesh. Hello. How are you doing today? Yeah, sorry guys. The bot is not working in the YouTube chat. I set it up earlier to do those commands, and it just dingle dangle don't work. But I posted the link. Amel, it's so that you can see the links there. I'll post them again. That is a GoFundMe to help me pay for apartment fees and rental fees and stuff as I find a new place to live. And the Amazon wish list is getting me the stuff that I need in order to be able to cook and stuff in my new place that I am going to live. So that's cool. Still not psyched about it, but we're living the dream in every other way, I guess. A toaster is just a death ray with a small power supply. I mean, toaster certainly has the capability of being a death ray. Let's not get too morbid, though, in today's stream so early on. Or was that a specific reference? I highly recommend a toaster oven over a toaster. Well, you see, a toaster oven takes up way more counter space and I can take the toaster and like put it away for the majority of the time that it's not being used. What could be morbid about a death ray? It was, the morbidity was about the toaster and the implication of a death ray toaster and the toaster in the bathtub thing. It was a joke about suicide, which is dark. I like want to be funny today, but my throat hurts. Oh, hey, Gorge. Hey, Gorge. Hi, Christy. How are you doing today? Welcome over from the Jess and Xena community. Always nice to have a little bit of crossover. My mom is going nuts over this air fryer she uses at work. Jimsy, I have not put an air fryer on my Amazon wish list because I think that that's really frivolous, but I am going to miss the air fryer. My partner bought the air fryer and it's his, and I'm going to move out and leave it here, and it's sad. I'm going to have to start using a regular oven to cook my tater tots and shit. It's sad. Yeah. Oh, hey, Gorge. Yeah, Jimsy, you don't know Jess and Xena? Jess and Xena, formerly known as Trans Girl Therapist. They're a couple. They're a queer couple. You clearly won't have an air fryer. I mean, yeah, I haven't added an air fryer to my Amazon wish list. What's up, soy boy? I can tell you don't have an air fryer. I have an air fryer right now. My air fryer has 2 compartments. It's like has 2 baskets, which is abnormal for air fryers. But again, I will no longer have access to the air fryer shortly. Oh, is I can tell you don't have an air fryer a meme? The internet has become so fractured that I don't understand memes anymore. I'm glad you're doing okay, Anansi. Take some deep breaths. Clearly you don't have an air fryer. I see. Okay, I see. It's true. Clearly you don't have an air fryer. Thank you, Maria. Maria says, I'm sorry you're going through all this, Luxander. I am not having the best time, but I am trying my best, you know? Moving is so hard and stressful. Hang in there. I'm moving right now as well, and it's bad enough without other life changes on top. Yeah, I'm not trying to like harp on this at the beginning of the stream. Just people keep talking about it. I have never lived by myself before. I was living with my dad, and then I moved in with my partner. Like, I went from being a teenager living with my dad to then moving out into with my partner, and therefore, I need a bed, and I would appreciate help getting one. Once you lose the air fryer, you will lose all your cool points. I know, it's so sad. Yeah, I think there's only one model of air fryer that has 2 baskets. Like, they're 2 separate ones that you can put them on 2 totally different settings, and it's a whole thing. Excuse me. But I am kind of excited. Some of the stuff on my Amazon wish list is like stuff that is kind of frivolous that I don't necessarily like completely need, because it's like it would be just nice to have this in my new space. And I'm thinking, yeah, exactly. Living alone has its perks. Slum it up bachelor style. I'm looking forward to being able to just put things the way that I want them to be, and like not worry about anyone else's like opinion about it. My friend said, clearly you don't have an air fryer to me once, and I took a selfie in front of my air fryer giving them the finger. That was probably my highest effort shitpost. Fair enough. There's this YouTube channel called Technology Connections who nerded out about toasters, and I really enjoyed watching it. How can I possibly cook without a maid outfit? I need to get a full maid outfit. Here's the thing. I know I've already talked about this. I want to start a Fansly, which is kind of like OnlyFans, but it's not OnlyFans. But I want to just post like pictures of my outfits and stuff. Like check these out. I don't actually know. Can I show you these without showing off my feet? Okay, these like holes in them. These came from Spirit Halloween. Like I would love to show you off my outfits that I coordinate doing weird stuff like this with the like holes in the tights or whatever, and post them on Fansly. So when I start doing that, I can then like have my Amazon wish list for all of the sexy femme clothes that I want to wear and be like, buy me the stuff. I'll take pictures for the Fansly. And maid outform could be part of it, you know? Maid uniform is good and all, but objectively best outfit to cook in is just an apron. I mean, that's fair. You do the apron and like a thong underneath or something like that. And that's it. I'm glad you got away from this drunk dude who accosted you in Nancy. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go outside alone anymore either if I was getting that kind of attention regularly. Doesn't sound fun. This is part of why I don't go out anywhere. I stay inside. I like go to the grocery store sometimes. That's pretty much it though. I associate the naked apron thing with Hollywood man butts. I mean, sometimes the apron is just like a little bit skinny in the front. So the titty and nipple is like visible out the side of the front of the apron. And then with the thong on, I feel like that, like, you know, it kind of detracts from the idea of Hollywood man butts in that instance. But that's too smuggy. I also associate it with man butts. However, good thing I like men. True. Okay, so go ahead and hit like on the stream if you've not yet hit like on the stream. We're about to start talking about Keffals. If you weren't here already, hearing me talk about why I'm talking so slowly, I had a minor surgery on the inside of my mouth on Tuesday. So we're going to try to take it easy. But yes, I'm ready. That might actually be the only thing that we do today, because I feel like I'm going to want to give up very soon. And then I'm also supposed to stream tomorrow afternoon anyway. Like swallowing hurts a little bit. Which is never, that's a very unsmuggy thing to have happen. When you're like, man, I want to swallow, but it hurt. Italian pride, true. We regularly turn heads when we go out, so we tend to stick with groups hardcore now. Yeah. I get to like kind of choose whether I appear feminine or masculine. Especially because I still wear a facial covering whenever I go out. Yeah, I'm going to try to make sure to take it easy because I don't want the thing to like not heal correctly. But yes, let me take a drink of this water. And you all, if you've not yet taken a drink of water, should go ahead and do the same. Hail, hydrate. Yes. One for when we need. One for funsies. Whatever, parent. True fucking true. Emma. Hello, Emma. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're lurking. CJ, my darling, my patience with your questions has pretty much run out for today. If you would like to do that some other time, maybe some other time, but I don't really want to have like my transness questioned today, where it's like, yes, I'm trans masculine, and yes, I still want to be feminine at times. Thank you, Emma. Wishing you well from across the pond. I'm wishing you well from across the pond. Person says my Adderall mouth appreciates the hydrate reminder. You're welcome. I wish I had the choice between extreme masculine or feminine features. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that you can do is fucking you can learn how to do makeup is one thing you can learn how to do. Is she coming back? She's coming back. Okay, she's back. You can learn how to do makeup crazy good, I guess, is the one thing to like make your face vary wildly between feminine and masculine features. Ever since finishing Homestuck, I just want my gender to be Dirk Strider. Oh dear. Another reminder to sip on this Voodoo Ranger IPA. Wishing your mouth a speedy recovery, pal. Me too. I am very much looking forward to being able to resume normal oral activities. This is, wow. Can you, girl, please? Please. Okay, nope. Nope. I'm still here. The camera is just... She's really not working very good today. Let's go ahead and manually shut it off. Okay. And one more time. Okay, are we working now? World's slowest strobe light. True. Okay, no, she's not back. She's struggling. She's really struggling. One for what we need and one for funsies. Should make a t-shirt with that line. I would love to do t-shirts and stuff. It's just I want to do merch in a responsible manner. Okay, let's, first of all, we're gonna do a quick cheers with our beers, okay? And then we're about to talk about Tenderqueers with Keffals, all right? Because, so here's, I'm gonna address this before we get too far into the segment, all right? Tenderqueer, my understanding, has a very particular meaning. Now, here Keffals is using the term tenderqueer as being more or less synonymous with woke scold and SJW, a very particular type of asshole-ish behavior within the queer community. And I just want to acknowledge that there is a slight difference between the way that she is using the term and the way that I have come to understand the term tenderqueer to be used. Yeah, it's not a Luxander stream without camera shenanigans. True. No, the burp is not coming. Tenderqueer, very specifically, in my experience, it refers to like weaponization of whiteness and trauma from queer people. So it's like if you have a queer roommate who won't do the dishes, and when you and your other roommates ask them to do the dishes, they freak out and they go like, I can't believe you're all yelling at me. This is triggering my trauma. And then they start a GoFundMe to move out of the abusive environment, right? That's the narrative that they spin. So the idea of tenderqueer, to me, has this very specific connotation of white tears being weaponized, like white queer people weaponizing their trauma to avoid accountability. However, I understand that like kind of all of these terms sort of bleed together when you're criticizing overly sensitive queer people. Like I think that that's sort of what these three terms share. Like tenderqueer, SJW, woke scold, they kind of all refer to a subset of the queer community who are weaponizing their vulnerable traits, you know? I don't like the term tenderqueer because it's too close to genderqueer for my taste. That's fair. That's fair. Tenderqueer just reminds me of how I never advanced past tenderfoot in Boy Scouts. I'm so sorry that we're triggering your childhood trauma, Jimsy. How dare us? We'll start a GoFundMe for you. if you haven't yet hit like on the video, please consider hitting like on the video really quick. We are about to start responding to Keffals' video here. So I am ready to get this started. Let me get my headphones in. This is a 35-minute long video. Keffals talks a little bit slow, so we will probably go ahead and increase the speed slightly. Increase the playback speed. I just want some chicken tendies. Oh, man. Chicken tendies would be very good. Privilege pays the bills, y'all. For sure it does. Okay, what the fuck am I doing? Okay, hold on. 1 second. I need to get this figured out with this. Did you see I cut my hair today? One of the things on my Amazon wish list is hair clippers because I keep borrowing my partner's clippers to shave my head. Buy me some clippers. Exclamation point move in the website chat. Okay, now I'm going to adjust the volumes and...
This is a serious issue in the community.
Okay, hold on.
That no one is willing to talk about because no one wants to endure the wrath of the community by talking about it, but I don't give a shit. I just don't care. Like if I can...
Okay, I think that she is loud enough. Maybe we'll take the speed down slightly, back to 1.25. And watch the Keffals. It's time for Keffals. I was going to mention your hair looks great today. Thank you, Curse. Thank you. And then I'm going to copy and paste this over here. Wow. Check out my GoFundMe. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. It's Keffals time. Let's go.
This is a serious issue in the community that no one is willing to talk about because no one wants to endure the wrath of the community by talking about it, but I don't give a shit. I just don't care. Like if I can withstand the
Keffals is such a fucking real one, such a fucking champion for this.
entirety of the heat of kiwi farms, I can say that there are a lot of toxic people in the trans community who attack their own community more than they do anything that materially benefits their community. Some people have said to me that one of the issues that they don't like about me is that I won't rein my community in, and I won't. I don't think any of you did anything wrong. Like, honestly, I think more of the Tenderqueers need pushback. I don't think that they should feel as comfortable as they do lobbing accusations left and right in an effort to like slander people through oppression Olympics. If I do something fucked up, I'm willing to own up to it. I'm not above criticism. But a lot of the criticism isn't based on actual criticism. It's not based on anything except vibes.
True. This is gonna be a good video.
So there are a lot of definitions I see thrown around for what a tenderqueer is. But the term, as I'm using it, means someone who is a member of the LGBT community who uses social justice issues as a way to manipulate and harass others. Like, they use the language of systemic critique as a way to get what they want by attacking other people. And this is an issue, you kind of see it a lot. You see it a lot in these spaces. This is a big issue in the LGBT community, especially in online spaces. And the thing that is particularly a problem is that people get into these fights that don't need to be happening. They try to take a systemic issue and then they label their opponents as being perpetrators of the systemic issue when it's really just that they personally do not like them and they want to smear them and attack them. And
yeah, like, people conflate interpersonal conflicts. Like, they take an interpersonal conflict and they go like, oh no, this person is intrinsically something. Like, I honestly do think that people get a vibes-based assessment. They're like, I don't like this person. I don't like their vibes. And then they go finding something in their past that we can use as an excuse, like to be mad at them, you know, or like take down their reputation.
in real life, when this shit happens, people just roll their eyes because it doesn't fucking matter. But on the internet, outrage is key to generating engagement. And this is something that has particularly been a problem. So I would say that the Italian pride flag color thing is a very clear indicator of what I'm talking about with the tenderqueer outrage. It's people who try to take like little nitpicky shit and they are manipulative and try and turn it into a huge discourse. And a lot of the time they're—
I don't know if she's gonna explain this, but like the discourse that she's referring to is like, you all know the progress flag? Hold on. Do you all know the progress pride flag? Let's look at it really quick. There's like the regular pride flag that's like the rainbow flag, right? And then there's like also the trans flag. Those are like two different things. But then you've got the progress pride flag, which is more recent, and it's gone through a couple of iterations too, actually. Like you have this iteration, which is kind of like one of that was like the first one that I became familiar with, where you have the trans flag integrated with the rainbow flag and plus a black and a brown stripe in order to acknowledge the place of people of color within the community. And then you also have this one, which is even newer, where you have the intersex flag in there with the trans flag, the brown and black stripes, and then the rainbow. I think it was this flag that Keffals, she added the colors of the Italian flag to. Dumb little joke. I've seen Italian flags used in this kind of comedic way a couple of times. Like, oh man, I wonder if I'll be able to find this meme. Oh gosh, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. There's a meme that's like you never know if somebody you know is going to be da 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 da. And it's like there's like a gay flag and then a trans flag, and then the original meme, I think, the original post is sincere, but there is a meme that goes around where one of them is the Italian flag, and it's just supposed to be like under the radar, stupid comedy. So I kind of interpreted it as being within line, like in line with that same joke. Like, not a Keffals original is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that adding the Italian flag to the Progress Pride flag was like 100% a Keffals original as far as internet jokes go. I love Vosh's joke flag. I don't know if I've seen Vosh's joke flag. I like the OG rainbow flag. It's supposed to be all-inclusive. Yeah, I don't really have a strong opinion about the Progress flag, if I'm being honest. Vosh made that Italian plus Joker plus gamer atrocity flag. Oh, I see. This is supposed to be a recorded segment, but I'm going to take a quick break to address CJ. We're just going to take a quick minute to address CJ in the chat. First of all, CJ, like, I hadn't thought about you in a while, if I'm being completely honest. I really hadn't thought about you in a while. And so the first time that I thought about you in a while was when you posted on my post about my GoFundMe asking for help with my separation from my partner, wanting to compliment my appearance. And also, like, not only wanting to compliment my appearance, but also, like, doing this weird thing that you do where you're like, oh, you and you're like, am I triggering you by calling you this? Like, it comes across that way. You might mean it sincerely. Like, you might sincerely be like, I want to compliment you in that you're attractive, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it in a respectful way. That's the wrong place to be doing it respectfully in any capacity. First of all, so like, that's just like, I hadn't thought about you in a while, and the very first interaction that we've had is one that I consider to be kind of inappropriate, like socially inappropriate time to try to compliment someone who you think is attractive. Okay, I'm upset about a separation from my partner. Okay, I feel like you're like 20 years older than me, and I don't know why I'm having to explain this to you. What's up, Hansen Bop? Welcome to the website. I'm sorry that I am lecturing someone right now, but welcome. Thank you so very much for joining us on the website chat. I'm so glad to have you here. But yes, I like taking pictures of myself wearing cute outfits, and that's to answer your other question. I figured I know another streamer. No, don't worry, Anjali. Don't worry. It's for CJ. Another streamer I know takes pictures of their cute outfits and posts them to the website Fansly, and I'm just considering doing the same thing. Trying to do more work to make more money, okay? I'm like not just here to ask for handouts, okay? What's up, Razcal? Hello, welcome in. Do you not see the hypocrisy of those that have challenges with the subject matter? Okay, CJ. Sometimes it's not appropriate to ask questions. Like, maybe specifically don't ask, I want to tell you that you look attractive, but I don't know if it's okay to call you beautiful because of your gender weirdness. Like, maybe don't ask that on the GoFundMe about someone's separation from their partner. Okay, that's the quintessential thing. Hanson, are you CJ? Because I'm responding to CJ in the chat. When I said someone who's 20 years older than me, I was not talking to you, Hanson. You know, I'm happy to answer the questions, generally speaking, right? I'm just saying that was an inappropriate time for it. Outfits are no longer for men. We should have to go around naked. True. Men should go around naked. Lux is ageist now. Listen, Anjali, you say that. You say you're like joking about me being ageist now, but like I actually did. I literally simply described Buck Angel as old once. And people were like, "I can't believe you're such an ageist." And I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" No, sorry, Hanson. I have a chud over in the YouTube chat. I know it's not visible to you all because it's over on the YouTube chat. Holy shit, there are 64 concurrent viewers right now. Hit the like button, please. Okay? Hit the like button. Consider dropping me a dono. Consider checking out the GoFundMe. Hell yeah, y'all. It's the end of the month. What a great way to end the month on a hot, sexy stream. Okay, now we've had an aside where we're lecturing. Yeah, I did call you a chud because you like are asking me a lot of questions while I'm in the middle of a segment right now. Ah, thank you, Emma. That's probably a good call. Razcall with the tier 1 with the tier 3 sub. Holy shit, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I need to add that to the thingy-mabobber. We're taking a long aside here. I apologize. We'll get back to it momentarily. We will get back to it momentarily. Okay, I can do it. I can type and think at the same time. I'm so sure that I can type and think at the same time. Yeah, there we go. Okay, typing and thinking at the same time. We did it. And now, we're ready to return to the segment. Can we watch the Chud trailer after this? What is the Chud trailer? Hello, Quantum Cactus. Hello. I don't think that I've heard of the Chud trailer. You tell me what it is, though, and I will resume watching this video for a moment while someone does that.
They're doing it because they know they can generate engagement by doing it, at the cost of having any sort of semblance of solidarity within the communities that they're a part of. It's basically a woke scold, except it's a woke scold specific to the LGBT community. When I did that one video,
So she's using Tenderqueer as distinct from woke scold in the sense that like they both engage in the same behaviors, except that like a woke scold will do it like to Ben Shapiro, and like a Tenderqueer is only policing people within the community, I guess. Or it describes their role doing that to other people within the community, perhaps.
the Clowntown people, like they were Tenderqueers. The video got labeled with them as liberals, but yeah, they're usually liberals. But a lot of them, despite being liberals, are leftists in their discourse. Like they know the leftist discourse, but they apply it in an incredibly liberal way. So the reason that I wanted to address this in the first place was because our community is consistently under attack. We are on the precipice of going into a dark age for the LGBT community. Fascists are getting elected around the world. Our rights are systemically being taken away.
Thank you, Numpty, with the $10 dono. I really appreciate that. Let me update this thingy. You all are being so spectacular today, and I really appreciate that. Hell yeah. Oh, I got my first tarot reading the other day, by the way. Like, that's just totally an aside. My friend Silent did a tarot reading. It was her first time doing a full reading, and it was my first time receiving a tarot reading, and it was a lot of fun. I found it amusing. As much as I support Keffals, it'd be nice if she moved on to some other content instead of dwelling on Twitter trolls ad infinitum. I think honestly that she might be about to like pivot to going after Tucker Carlson. It's the trailer for the movie where the term chud comes from. It's 70s weird horror hilarity. Perhaps we might watch it later. We'll see. But yeah, I definitely don't know this. I don't know that this is the most beneficial use of Keffals' time, I suppose, but I do personally think that this is an issue that needs to be discussed, because it, like, have you ever noticed how the discourse, the interpersonal queer discourse shit always ebbs and flows with the legislative cycle? So like right now, right this moment, we are not currently dealing with active legislative attacks on queer rights right this moment. Oh, my throat is so weird. Sorry, I'm talking weird. Currently we're dealing with an attack, or currently we're not dealing with those active attacks. You know, we're in between those phases right now. So instead, like, while we're momentarily not under attack, we're going to start infighting, apparently, and being like, you're not valid. You can't call yourself a bisexual, lesbian, non-binary people, whatever, blah, 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 like bullshit. Like, it's predictable at this point. Like, and this is part of the big point that Keffals is making here, and it's a point that Natalie Wynn from ContraPoints has made before, that the enemy is so overwhelming, the true enemy is so overwhelming, that we find it easier to attack fellow queer people, to police fellow queer people. Like, Tucker Carlson doesn't care that he hurt your feelings by calling all drag queens groomers. You know, he doesn't care about that. He wants to drum up stochastic violence against you, you know? So, but if you tell the neighborhood queer creator like myself, for example, that I've said something in a video that could be harmful, you know, then like I do care about that harm. So you telling me that I've done something to hurt you can influence and police my behavior, right? You can't do anything about Tucker Carlson, but I am on my own social media. I don't have a person who checks my Twitter for me. I read all of my own YouTube comments. So I am able to be essentially policed by that, you know? So I do think that a lot of people misdirect their anger, their totally justified anger about the oppressive system onto each other. So big aside right at the beginning.
Day by day, month by month, it's looking like even the Democrats might back out of supporting trans
Chicken
people
tender queer,
because
true.
it's no longer a winning electoral strategy. So
I would be so fucking pissed if the fucking Democrats pulled out of supporting trans people. I would fucking lose it.
With Tenderqueers, which are basically woke scold liberals who are part of the LGBT community, they pose an actual threat to the community itself because they're not interested in solidarity. They're not interested in building bridges. They're not interested in organizing. What they're mostly interested in is purity testing. And the reason why you don't see a lot of them with larger platforms is because they're incredibly insular. They have echo chambers.
These people like bitch and snipe and like fight each other. They're like fighting over scraps of attention. Like, it's hard to say what exactly it is that they're just constant. Like, this is part of why it's so nice to not be in the fucking SJW community anymore, is because it was exhausting. A lot of my friends self-identify as SJW. They're not really radical. They're trying to take the label back. Most use woke scold as a replacement. Tenderqueer is still new to me. Yeah, I was in the very first group of people who, like, when the term SJW was originally created to make fun of people who believed in something, that was, I was among the first people who was like, actually, I'm a social justice rogue. LOL. What's up, Guitar Rocker? How are you doing, hun? The anti-trans narratives are actually not supported by most Americans. There's more opposition than support for the anti-trans shit. I hope so. Also, Hansen asks if I consider myself a Democrat. I'm registered as a Democrat so that I can vote in primaries. However, the Democratic Party is far too... there's not enough... They're not willing to actually change anything. They're like in the way of progress more often than not, you know? Oh my God, don't remind me. I was like, I'm a social justice bard. Now I'm cringing so hard. Oh no, Gayfesh. Oh, we were there in the trenches. Like, I didn't know you yet, but we were there in the trenches together. Oh my God. I don't consider it a significant part of my identity, but I would also consider myself an SJW in a reclaiming way, and I don't think that's cringeworthy. The thing is that the whole problem, fundamentally, like the Tenderqueer problem, the SJW problem, the issue is that it's a bunch of snipey little bullshit infighting, you know? It's just not useful. Hey Katya, welcome to the website. Sing us your songs of social justice, Luxander. That was Gayfesh. Gayfesh was a social justice bard. I was like, I'm a social justice rogue. But anyway, yeah, no, it's cringe because the behavior of that group of people is largely like a bunch of petty bullshit, you know? The SJWs don't like contribute anything meaningful to the movement or to like society. They're like a bunch of like cringy, disabled trans people who like really do spend most of their time focused on the social hierarchy on social media, and they're like oppression Olympics. And yeah, like this is the problem that we're talking about here, is like this type of person, and the fact that they weaponize their vulnerable minority status in order to police other people and everything, you know? Social justice kobold, true.
Because they can't exist outside of those echo chambers. If they try to exist within the larger community, they would continually get into fights with people who do not give a shit. I don't even know if it's purity testing as much as clout sharking. It's both at the same time. It's both clout sharking and purity testing.
True.
The purity test is to just give a lot of ways they can clout shark. Purity testing would be trying to hold people to a certain moral standard and excising them if they do not fit within the moral standard.
I've literally been talking about this for like 5 years.
That you create. That's basically what purity testing is. You see it a lot in leftist spaces. People decide, unless you believe this and this and this and this and this and this, you're not actually a leftist and you shouldn't be in leftist spaces. Most of these people are also like 14. See, I fucking wish most of these people were 14. But I've seen people like this in their 30s and their 40s.
I have for sure seen people in their adulthood doing this. Like, I've been blocked by people for seemingly no reason. Like I've been blocked by my adult friends for like supporting the wrong person, like for supporting Natalie Wynn or whatever. Like, they will kick you out forever. They will go after, any time where you are mentioned in a positive light, they will come after the person who mentioned you in a positive light and say, did you know that you are supporting someone who encourages like, and they'll use the most dramatic language possible to describe your actions, to make it seem like you've done something as egregious as humanly possible. Like, it is extremely abusive. For real, it's abusive.
40s, in their 50s, like it's everywhere, and it's fucking endemic to the trans community. It's crazy. Like, okay, I'm blocked, but here's a good example of a Tenderqueer. Like, from this is old, but like, look at this, for instance. Keffals really is a case study on what happens when one of the most privileged folk in a marginalized community somehow becomes the de facto spokesperson for that community without having done any of the work to recognize their own privilege. This is sort of what I mean, right? It's holier than thou. It's pure.
Conversations about privilege are so hard to have now because of how fucking cringe people are about it.
Purity testing, it's sowing division. It has nothing to do about bettering the community or building the community up, but instead it's about perceived punching up in your own community. So it's like they're listing all of my privileges in this thread. I got to transition young, which is...
Here's all the reasons why it's okay to hurl harassment and abuse toward Keffals, because she has all these quote privileges.
Privilege. And my family supports me, which is a privilege. Apparently my family is rich, which is not true, but that was listed as a privilege. Like literally a thread on how privileged I am. She's skinny and conventionally pretty. Apparently that's a privilege. She's white. That's a privilege. Once again, I started transition at a young age, so it's listed twice in the same privilege thread. I skipped a lot of bullshit a lot of older trans people dealt with.
Oh my God, true. Anjali, or no, is it Anjali? Speedy Shimeji says, not to mention the weird Christianity like black and white sort of way they operate. If you mess up once, you're done. That's the fucking thing with these people. These people are like you you do something once and like you're never ever gonna get clemency for it again. Decoy Duck, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, like absolutely, like the willingness to discard you over one issue. Like if they decide that it's substantial enough of an issue, they're going to dump you over it. And it is like, it borders on violent because, I mean, if you're like, listen, if you're really thinking about how these online communities work, okay? Like me, I'm currently updating my little donation thing so that you all can see, like, here's the currently monthly donations of $732 for the course of the whole month of September, which is great. Thank you so very much. Because I can't work a regular job, like because of like the stacking of like transness and autism and disability all on top of each other, I can't really work a regular job. So I rely on community support, like not just community support, like this is my job. I provide a service. I work for tips, basically. I provide entertainment. I provide community. Like what I do has value, right? But I do rely on, to an extent, having a good reputation within the community, right? If someone is even more disabled than me, like let's say like a black trans woman who can't walk, right? Like she is even more reliant than I am on this social support network. Thank you for the gifted tier 1 sub, Decoy Duck. I really appreciate it. So someone who is even more reliant than I am, like I could, if I really needed to force myself to, I could hypothetically work a regular job. It would be really hard for me, the COVID risks and everything. Like I would probably end up sicker than I started if I were to work a job right now, which is why I don't. But someone who's more disabled than me, or who's, black, like, and not dealing with that, or they're also dealing with that access of oppression or whatever, like they rely even more on this network of support and social reliance. So if a black trans woman gets this attention on her where it's like, oh, you fucked up, you said the wrong thing, you did the wrong thing, you supported the wrong person during this blow up or that blow up and this discourse or that discourse, that's a death sentence for some people. It's not cute. It's not something that you can just blow off, Sorry, Tenderqueer, guys, y'all, Tenderqueer is, in this instance, we're basically kind of using Tenderqueer as like a similar term to SJW or woke scold. Like someone who weaponizes their trauma and marginalized experience against other trans people, usually. Yeah, Anansi, I'm sure you speak from personal experience here. I got chucked for saying I thought bisexual meant they're attracted to two genders, got dogpiled on, treated like shit, and then blocked. No chance to actually question and know. That's the difficult thing about these people, is like, it's not just if you did something fucked up. It's not just like, oh, you, I don't know, like it's like the social consequences are the same if you sexually assaulted someone and that came to light, versus like if you accidentally ask the wrong question. Like if you're like me recently and you're like, is there a difference between like racism in the sense of like actually hating people and using the N-word versus like the quote unquote racism of like not being vocal enough in your support of people of color on Twitter? And it's like, yeah, technically the not supporting people of color enough on Twitter could be considered covert racism, but like the asking of the question in and of itself was a problem. You know, people are like, I don't want to educate you. Like, I just want to call you racist. I'm just gonna react to this tweet and then go through your Twitter history searching for any time you mentioned the word black to see if I can find a time where you were being racist against black people, you know? Yeah, you ask something involving nuance and you get blacklisted. Yeah, this is, and the social consequence is the same. It's you lose everything you have socially. And again, in this community, losing that social support is equivalent to a death sentence. At the risk of opening another whole can of worms, I first heard Tenderqueer in the context of the Kink at Pride debate. Who were the Tenderqueers in that instance? Would you describe Riley Grace Rochong as a Tenderqueer in the context of the Kink at Pride debate? Okay, I want to get back into watching this. I'm taking a huge aside here. Well, it's not like I'm taking a huge aside. There is a lot to talk about with this issue. Like, that's my thing here. I've never met Keffals. No, I DM'd her once, but she never responded, which is fine. She's very busy. She was in the middle of getting swatted all the time, I think, when I tried to message her. Artemis in the YouTube chat says, canceling or culture of wrongness is very much part of white supremacy culture. Deconstructing our culture of wrongness is super important. That's really interesting. The irony of the real SJW types is that they are so utterly patronizing to the groups they purport to support. Take my name. Anjali is a Sanskrit name, yet only white people have ever gotten mad at me. Sanskrit is one of those things, it's like, it's so old that it doesn't belong to any real culture at this point, right? Like, it can't belong to any real culture at this point. Anansi had a question about it pronouns. Yeah, I sometimes I delete commenters and sometimes they just get deleted, you know? Sometimes they just kind of get wiped out on their own because YouTube doesn't like dumb comments. My disappointment at finding out that Tenderqueer isn't a kind of chicken. I know, it's so sad. Okay, let's continue.
The privilege. If folks in that position can learn to listen when they get things wrong and boost other voices when they speak about issues they experience, that's great. I totally support folks. And it's basically just going on about how I don't listen, even though I absolutely do listen to people. It's just when they say that, they usually mean they want to manipulate you. They want to weaponize the privilege.
When they say you don't listen, it's like, I'm listening, but I don't necessarily agree. That's the one thing. Like, I want to be able to, like, okay, I hear you. I understand where you're coming from, but I don't agree, and I'm not going to change my behavior. But if you have that response, then they're going to accuse you of not listening, because by what they mean by not listening is like not doing what I told you to do. Every time I talk about this, it's like they want to bring you to heel. That's the phrasing that I use, is like they want you to do what they tell you to do.
Privilege discourse in order to get something from you. And that, to me, that's the crux of what Tenderqueers are. It's the manipulation of social justice rhetoric in order to attack another person. And
True.
It happens so frequently.
All
like,
the time.
Even with my swatting attempt, I saw people like Twink Bride saying that they don't feel bad for me for it because I'm not black and it would have been worse if I was black. Which is like, I mean, I agree with the statement, but it's literally a sociopathic statement to say shit like that. Like, you're actually denying empathy for other people in your own community based on oppression Olympics.
Yep.
Yeah, this Twitter thread almost strikes me as bullying.
Like, oh, you're trans and you were targeted specifically because you're trans, but you're also white, so I don't have any sympathy for you. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Under the facade of moral superiority. Oh yeah, no, that's what it is. Tenderqueers are bullies. They bully people in their own community.
Tenderqueers are cry bullies, by the way. Like fundamentally, the behavior of the tenderqueer is that they're a fucking cry bully. They're somebody who themselves is a huge piece of shit, but they weaponize their tears in order to make you seem like you're the aggressor. They are abusive bullies.
Community, and they manipulate social justice rhetoric that most people in the community know in order to achieve that end. So it's like I'm constantly dealing on one.
I love the like anime song that plays while while her tier 1 sub thing popped up.
One hand, with fucking actual fascists, fucking alt-right people, neo-Nazis, conservatives, literally every fucking person you could possibly think of that is incredibly anti-trans. And then on the other hand, I'm dealing with Tenderqueers who stalk my Twitter account, so they have every opportunity they can in order to attack me, while I'm dealing with being attacked by the actual enemies of our community. And this is what's so frustrating. Is that there's no
I imagine
united...
it really is frustrating. Like that exact thing has to be insanely frustrating. Mountains of the Moon says, dude, I've seen some videos in the past week of trans people kind of talking shit about non-binary and gatekeeping. Mountains of the Moon, if you're not a member of the Discord already, you could put the links in the Discord because I would love to react to those videos. That could be a lot of fun on the channel. I have no idea what it's about or what is going on. I was just surprised that there was maybe some animosity. Yeah, there is some animosity sometimes from trans people toward non-binary people. So I like to debunk it because I like to talk about how our situations are more similar than they are dissimilar.
Front, because Tenderqueers attack their own community more than they attack the people who are actually a threat to our community.
True.
And the reason that I wanted to bring this up in the first place is because we need to recognize this behavior. We need to call this behavior out. We need people to understand this is not acceptable. This is a case of misplaced aggression. You're hurting your own community. You should stop. But unfortunately, in a lot of spaces, this is completely acceptable behavior. I have a question.
Yeah, not only is it acceptable behavior, but like you're also triggering their trauma by addressing their behavior. Like if you say like, hey, this is counterintuitive to building a movement, like you are fucking things up socially. Like everything is running smoothly socially until you start being a weird fucking person. Like then you are transgressing. Like it's just entirely abusive behavior. Like you enshrine yourself in a shroud of like, can't touch this, like it's that's what fucking Tenderqueers do. They're like, you can't do anything against me, like I will accuse you of all kinds of shit, but if you accuse me of anything I will break down in tears. Like that's why there is the equivocation in my mind between Tenderqueer and like white tears, like weaponized white tears, because that is what they do. It's not always white people who do it, obviously. Like I would say like there are people who are people of color who specifically weaponize their status as people of color in order to do the exact same thing. Excuse me. I did heavily associate it with whiteness initially.
Genuinely asking, because I saw a few people mentioning how you were blocking Black trans women for criticizing. Is that real? Is there misunderstanding? No, basically, if there's a large tweet spreading misinformation about me, I run a chain block on it. So anyone who likes the tweet gets blocked.
I don't run chain blocks, but Voodoo in the YouTube chat says, I've been dogpiled as a racist by white queers for saying that there is a disproportionate amount of queer phobia in the Black community. ... I am Black. I'm so sorry. That's got to be so frustrating. Like constantly being told by white people that like you need to like figure out the shit that's happening within the Black community. Like, oh, like Black on Black crime, like why is this our problem? You all need to address the shit within your community. And then you start trying to address like the queer phobia within the community and you're like accused of being racist. Like that's so fucking stupid. I'm so sorry. That's gotta be so frustrating. Like I literally cannot imagine how fucking stupid that's gotta be. I almost dropped a slur. I'm getting too comfortable with the slurs off stream. And I need to like dial it back a little bit, I think. What's up, Paul Hack? Most minorities oppose shit like this, says Guitar Rocker. It's a small fraction of people who believe in the purity testing shit. I mean, that's you can also say that about the Republicans, though. Like, yeah, I truly did almost go Vosh mode. It's true. You know, you're right. Most minorities don't agree that you should act like this. Most of them think like you shouldn't do that. And it's a small fraction of people who believe in the purity testing shit. But it's like, it's also a small fraction of people who are fucking Christo-fascist nationalists controlling our country. Tactical Arsler. There was nothing tactical about it. But like, that's all it takes. Like sometimes like a minority just has to be like really loud in order to seem like a very influential minority. They just have to be loud and like go after everybody all the time, like constantly. Yeah, and like whether stupid is a slur or not. I don't want to get into whether stupid is a slur or not. Hold on. I'm going to open another beer. Like, let me grab... Ooh, there's 69 concurrent viewers right now. Has everybody who's in here hit like already? I'm just going to grab another beer, and then we're going to continue with this little segment where we're having many, many asides. That's always fun. Just like a lot of random, like, ooh, we're just going to like make a bunch of random asides. See, the fact that I wear shorts like this is why I need the Fansly, you know? You told us to scold you for drinking, Lux. Ah, yes. So here's the thing, Mersh. The reason why I was on not allowed to drink time was because that was divorce protocol. But I don't actually know if I'm getting divorced or not now, so I'm allowed to drink. I love those jeans. Those are they're leggings. They're under short shorts. I'm wearing like fucking booty shorts and then torn leggings underneath, which is great. Yeah. Redeems hydrate points. Yes. Oh man. I've got some issues with intellectual disabilities, and literally most of my adult life has been spent grappling with the consequences of that. And it's so fucking frustrating when neurotypicals try to tell me what is and isn't ableist. Shit, society is ableist, IDC. I don't care about the word stupid. Yeah. Conyer does have some tights like these. Conyers are better than mine, though. But Conyer was the reason why I had the idea in the first place. I'm definitely just going to cop Conyer's style in a lot of ways. I mean, like, I'm already, like, a goth femby. I already was that. But, it's fine. Mick Carter in the YouTube chat says, I've seen some binary trans purists gatekeeping NBs a lot within the last month. The whole sock sitch, maybe it's not the same as Tenderqueers sitch, or is it? The sock and Tenderqueers thing I think is the same. But I like to have, I like to see some examples of those so that I can respond to them at some point, perhaps. You can't go wrong copying Conyer, is that what you mean? I keep asking Conyer how the fuck she folds those pants without them turning into a tangled mess. Like, I bought these and they're like intended to be ripped. Like, I mean, like they're sewn, they're intended to have holes in them, so they're not going to rip further. I think Conyers are just actual tights that she ripped holes in, because like these are not ripped on the back, which it sucks, you know? They look good on you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway, showing off my legs on stream. Give me a $5 dono for showing off my legs on stream. Or subscribe to my Fansly whenever I fucking start it. Anyway. I remember the old non-binary shaming back in Tumblr days. Yeah, anyway. Conyer is going to expand to eyeshadow too soon in the next few months, they say. My idea for the Fansly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post fit pics, and I think the other thing that I'm going to post aside from fit pics is, maybe like flexibility, check-ins, like stretching pictures. Like, listen, I'll monetize my femme body. Who fucking cares? Fully clothed yoga pictures? Come on. Bad Bunny does that. I'll give you a free smile from a distance, Lux. Thank you. Conyer is based. I've never talked to Conyer. Should I be friends with Conyer? She seems cool. Oh my god, Jeet. Thank you for pointing this out, because this is another fucking hilarious thing. People arguing versus if you can say lesbiphobic or lesbophobic. I saw that. I saw people arguing that. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Alec did an interview with them a while back. Nice. I don't really know Conyer very well, and I don't know if we have anything specific that we should talk about. If there's anything in particular that you all think Conyer and I would get on well about, that would be great. Just to be safe, say lesbiophobic. Oh, I know that Vosh knows me. I've talked to Vosh on stream once before. Very, very, very briefly. People just love finding excuses to hate on non-binary people and police our identities and presentations. I mean, it's true. It's absolutely true. Anyway, I just use lesphobic and call it a day. You just cut it out. You just cut out the bi part. How dare you do something so biphobic?
So when I'm dealing with Kiwi Farms people and there's been like a 10,000 like tweet accusing me of being a pedophile because of Kiwi Farm shit.
True.
Like, that's the kind of stuff I deal with. And the way that I try to keep the community safe and to reduce the amount of harassment that I receive on a daily basis is through chain blocks. And on the other hand, I have the issues with the Tenderqueers, where they start this entire campaign where they do oppression Olympics against me to try and convince people that I should not have a platform, and they want to attack my reputation and my character. So when they make tweets calling me out about things like saying that I'm racist because I put an Italian flag on the progress flag, I run a chain block on it because I don't want to interact with any of the people there who
I
like the
respect
tweet.
that so
like,
much.
If you agree with that, I don't want to interact with you because you're a bully and you don't understand jokes. And I can...
You're a bully and you don't understand jokes. Truly, sometimes I feel like you are not... If you don't understand that this is a joke, like, I don't know that you're smart enough to be able to engage with the content that I'm putting out. Like, we might just be on different wavelengths if you don't understand that what I'm doing is humor in this instance. Like, I know that's rude, but I'm sorry. That's my honest feeling that I have sometimes.
Sort of understand the criticism, because people are saying you don't listen to criticism because you block people. And to that I say, at which point do you owe people?
So much of VDS is people who literally just are incapable of humor. To be fair, Vosh is retarded, and so his jokes don't come across to non-retarded people. So, like, that's why I understand Vosh's humor, because I am also retarded. Sorry.
People access to your account. Like, why am I being told that I'm not allowed to control how I use the internet and who I interact with on the internet? Like, it's a right-wing argument. But the thing with Tenderqueers and a lot of the stuff that they do is that they don't actually believe in much. They only care about social justice issues as much as they can weaponize them to hurt other people in their own community. So I've been seeing, for instance, people like Twink Bride.
ADHD and autism are cousins. If they're fucking more or less the same thing, if minimum they're cousins. ADHD and autistic people, we're like this, okay? I love Vouch's humor because I'm also ADHD. I love the phrase ADHD. That's a new one for me.
She's been sharing around stuff taken directly from Kiwi Farms and sharing stuff directly from Kiwi Farms users in order to spread misinformation about me, which then gets picked up by other Tenderqueers and used to attack me further. Wait, are these people actually part of the queer community, or are they alt-right undercover? The thing is, you can never tell the difference.
Yeah, that's another thing that Natalie pointed out in one of her videos at some point, was like, these anime avatars, like, it's literally impossible to tell if they are like ops or if they are earnestly queer people who are just like off the rails. Like, it's impossible to tell.
Because when you actually lay out everything that they do, it really does sound like that, doesn't it? But no, I don't think they're undercover. I think they don't really have a sense of solidarity. They don't understand how to build strong communities, and they don't understand how to work in groups, like big tent groups. They understand how to work in like smaller networks where they can excise anyone who doesn't meet their rigorous standards for moral purity. But besides that, there's a reason that you don't see them in big tent organizations. Selfish behavior, they're likely suffering from something and have decided anyone else getting attention or positivity is harming them somehow, and those people must be taken down. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I want to have a community on the internet that is both queer and recognizes this behavior for what it is and says it's not acceptable. If we don't stand together and don't accept each other despite our differences, we're fucked. Like, plain and simple, we are fucked. We will lose all our rights. A lot of us will get forced back in the closet. A lot of us will just straight up die. And can you imagine?
Like, seriously, like, people don't understand what we're up against is camps and gas chambers and getting shot in a nightclub where we went to celebrate our queer friend's birthday. Like, death. Death is what we're against here. And we choose instead to do infighting over whether or not you're allowed to call yourself a bisexual lesbian. Like, come on, be serious.
If that's the outcome and fucking stupid Twitter discourse plays a role in that, that would be the most sad shit imaginable. There's been a kind of gross focus from them about who gets credit for taking down kiwi farms and like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, like I was told throughout the entirety of the campaign not to take credit because people have been working on it for decades. So you're only worried about white trans people pretty much? No, I'm worried about all trans people, black trans people, indigenous trans people, brown trans people from all different ethnicities. When I say big tent, that's what I mean. I don't mean that I care specifically about just white people. What the fuck? Where would this even come from?
Like, you hate waffles? You know that tweet, y'all?
Found the Tenderqueers. Act like it then? I am acting like it. Yeah, bad faith ignore. Just fucking ban. I don't care. This is what I mean. Like that toxic behavior that is more about attacking their own community than it is about building any sort of bridges. Like that's fucking it right there. Like what does that behavior solve? And the answer is nothing. It sows division.
Yeah, she who knows no name. I do think that there is an extent to which Keffals is kind of just using the term tenderqueer as I mean, she's talking about people who weaponize their minority status against other people within the queer community specifically. Like woke scold will say, oh my God, Ben Shapiro said XYZ about trans people. In this case, she's referring to trans people who are using their status as trans or their status as black in order to say like, my opinion is more valid and more valuable. My trauma is more real. Like it's, I think she's describing a specific issue. Like it's not personally how I've heard the word tenderqueer used before, but I do think that like she's using it specifically to invoke this sense of interpersonal infighting within the queer community, like intra-queer community woke scolding. Because it's not exactly, I don't know, it kind of is woke scolding to an extent. But it is also, at the same time, the weaponization of marginalized identity and saying, like, if you don't listen to me, then you're racist. Like, you know, that's a very specific thing.
I generally think a lot of Twitter LGBT plus discourse is made to distract us from important issues. See, I would normally say that these things aren't real, you know, because it's fucking Twitter. But then you need to consider that a large portion, especially of the trans community, like 50% of the trans community in the US and Canada make less than $15,000 a year. Poverty and suffering.
Hey, it me.
Are rampant issues in the trans community. And it goes without saying, a lot of people are online a lot. They're unable to find work, and a lot of them are afraid to even leave their own houses because they don't want to get hate crimed. So
True.
I feel like in some ways, at least with some people in the community, they see being able to attack other people in their own community as a way of punching up, to reclaim power for themselves, which I understand. Like, you think they would just focus on shit that they agree about until it's actually materially addressed. From what they say, you can't tell what that would even be. Oh yeah, no, like I'm constantly being told I need to be accountable, but there is no mechanism for accountability on fucking Twitter. And two, they're not even clear about the terms of that. Like, how do you be accountable if you don't even know what you're supposed to be accountable for? Do you have any
like the accusations are not always even specific enough for you to do anything about it. Oh my God. Hey, if you're here and you have not yet hit the like button on the YouTube page, consider doing that. There is always a material benefit to the channel when you do that. Privilege is just a set of social circumstances that some people are lucky enough to not have to worry about, in which case which in turn means they're less likely to have gone through introspection about their relation to those circumstances and are less likely to be able to intuitively understand. That's all it means. Yeah, it doesn't make you a better or worse person. To have privilege also doesn't mean that you have not yet deconstructed that privilege. Like, you could have already deconstructed your privilege and still have it, you know?
Concerns that you might jump to labeling criticism that is maybe not intuitive to you as tenderqueer prematurely. Something I've seen Vosh do in a sort of snap judgment way a select few times. I think the difference is the approach, right? Like, I think the way that you approach the criticism is fundamental to how the criticism is received. Like, if it's a hostile criticism and I'm already being harassed every single day by fucking Nazis, how exactly am I supposed to register that in my brain as any different from the harassment I receive on a daily basis?
True.
And the answer,
you psychologically, like, can't differentiate between those two things. Oh my God, Anansi says, I got blasted for using the term femboy instead of roseboy in reference to myself. Anansi, like, aren't you, like, trans feminine? Like, you are the only, like, you're the person who should be allowed to say femboy. Like, I'm the one who's, like, using a slur and is not allowed to say femboy because like, you're only allowed to call yourself a femboy if you were born with a penis, apparently. Like, that's what the rules are now. Where like they just find new ways of perpetuating gender binary bullshit. Like, oh my God, only if you're trans misogyny affected can you use this term. I've literally never heard of the term roseboy before. I've only heard the term roseboy in the context of coming up with bullshit terms that don't exist in order to come up in order to force people to stop using language that they're already familiar with. I just avoid the entire femboy community. Don't get it, and it sounds like they do nothing but argue. I can't say that I'm a member of the femboy community because I don't engage with, like, community about that, but I am a femboy. It's a fun word and was never a slur. Fucking amen. Oh my God. Roseboy sounds way more offensive than femboy. They literally, like, invented bullshit terms to inject into the dialogue in order to enshrine certain words as, like, protected status only for certain people. Femboy should be fun. Oh my God. Like, I truly, like, I started identifying as a furry because it was fun. I started identifying as a femboy because it was fun and also true. Like, Felix says I'm an AFAB trans mask that uses he/they pronouns, and I feel validated when my partner calls me a femboy. Juniper says, somebody tell the man who buys me sexy outfits that I'm not a femboy. Someone needs to buy me sexy outfits. Femboy is only a slur when used as one, which it usually isn't. It's true. Who actually uses femboy as a slur? I guess you could technically say that its use in pornography could be a slur. Maybe. Just like, I mean, there's, like, she-male porn, and that's, like, a slur, you know. I mean, here's really, like, here's the thing. At the end of the day, here's the problem with the fucking Tenderqueers and the SJWs and the woke scolds, okay? Here's the fundamental problem with them at the end of the day. I'm blowing my load. We're only 15 minutes into this 35-minute video that we're responding to. The problem with these people is that they are terminal fun ruiners. They are terminally fun-ruining people. They really hate people just enjoying themselves and using these terms in a lighthearted manner. Like, Jess from Trans Girl Therapist is the one who introduced me to the concept of this phrase of, like, gender as play. Gender is for fun. Who fucking cares? Use its pronouns. Call yourself a femboy. Like, wear a skirt. Wear a strap-on and a skirt at the same time. Like, who fucking cares? Like, do stupid shit. It's fine. It's going to be fun. Shout out to Till Lindemann for dropping a whole song about ladyboys that go so fucking hard. I don't think I've heard that one before. But yeah, yes, there's plenty of slurs in porn. Like, here's the thing. Now that I self-referentially call myself a tranny, like, no one calling me a tranny is going to be able to hurt my feelings. Are you fucking serious? Like, a year ago, before I became the kind of person who self-referentially calls themselves a tranny, I would have been the kind of person who can be hurt by that. Like, if someone tried to hate crime me and they called me a tranny, I would have been like, wow, that made this whole hate crime worse. But now I would be like, LOL, true. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what the power of reclaiming slurs is. It's like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised when I hear the word tranny. I'm not surprised when I hear the word fag. I'm not surprised when I hear the word retarded. Like, if you'd have told me a year ago that I'd be locked inside of my home, I would have told you a year ago. Interesting, now leave me alone. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Strap on and a skirt is my loungewear. True. Strap on in a skirt is what you do when you want to be a big dick Fuda bitch, but you haven't had phalloplasty yet. I don't actually have a strap on though, so I can't do either of those things. No. Oh my gosh. My other hypothesis is that a lot of these people are living in places where they're traumatized about their gender identities on it. She's coming back on a nearly everyday basis, like in some fundamentalist religious community, etc. So they take it extremely seriously and get overly defensive when they absolutely don't have to with other queer people. Good night, Anansi. Good luck in fight class. Okay, we're just gonna... You're being a real huge bitch right now. My camera is being a real... That's a huge bitch. Okay. Are we ready to turn back on now? Oh my god. Exactly decoy duck. Are we back? Oh my god. Are we back? Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, Katya was saying, my other hypothesis is that a lot of these people are living in places where they're traumatized about their gender identities on nearly an everyday basis, like they're in fundamentalist religious communities, or they take it extremely seriously and get overly defensive when they absolutely don't have to with other queer people. I do think that's the case too. Like, I think if you're in a conservative environment, or like if your family is actively misgendering you on purpose and stuff, like, you're more sensitive. So then you go online and someone triggers you like a little bit and you flip the fuck out. Like, you absolutely flip the fuck out. I like the red lighting makes your room look like a dragon's lair. I haven't quite settled on what I like the lighting to look like. But here in about a month and a half or so, I'm going to be moving into an entire new space. So I'll have like a completely different background to work with. But red is a dragon's lair. Like, I feel like I got to be careful not to steal too much from Demon Mama's aesthetic, you know? Katya also makes a really great point. She says, they say, sorry, I don't know your pronouns. You can set your pronouns on the website chat if you just go into your account settings. But they say you're also able to take your frustration and anger out on people online, whereas you can't really do that with your family or community members that are discriminating against you. Yeah, I agree with that. I like your aesthetic the way it is. A lot of the time on stream, lately I've been doing pink and blue. This is like cyberpunk colors, but we're doing red tonight because that's what I wanted to do it. She, her, yes, good job, awesome. Quarbarian with the tier 1 sub, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I should add these both to the thingy-mabobber. Hell yes. Thank you all so much. I very much appreciate all of your donations. That is helping me achieve my goals of getting my bills paid and saving up money for rental application fees. Yeah. Juniper also adds, I think to that point, people who are struggling with being affirmed don't like seeing people be carefree and happy about their identities. I wonder if maybe that's part of it. I wonder if maybe there is a degree of jealousy too, where, you know, it's like, well, how can you be, the imaginary, like, I'm imagining what Calvin Guerra might think. He's like, how can you be comfortable with your femininity when I have to police myself in order to be perceived as male, you know, like, you know, how can you be comfortable with your tranny voice if I have to work so hard on voice training so that I don't sound like that, you know, like, I don't know. Nice, Mersh. I like that you're just vaguely threatening. Chaotic Envy, you should definitely try its pronouns out. I love them. You should definitely try it. Blue Spectra also says that I will say that a lot of people who are online and deal with bigotry bullshit IRL do use their online spaces as a way to get away from that. So I can understand someone getting bent out of shape over seeing things that are more borderline. Perhaps. All right, I want to resume. I'm on shit. I tried idiots and wasn't fond of it, but I also tried whole holes as a joke and ended up loving them unironically. So now I use he, they, whole unironically. I have so much respect for how much of a sleut you are, Baphomet. God bless. All right, hold on.
I don't. It's like if the criticism is framed in an incredibly hostile way, I'm just like, no. If people are actually trying to get me to understand something and are willing to show some patience, I'm absolutely willing to take that criticism. I don't see myself as someone who is above criticism, but my main concern is the issue within the community of bad actors who weaponize these issues.
True.
You're literally the victim of the largest transmisogynistic hate campaigns in history of the internet. Of course, you're not going to have the emotional capacity to filter the genuine criticism from the dishonest criticism. Yeah, that's fucking it. And like, I don't think a lot of the criticism that people ask me to address is legitimately criticism. I do think it's just harassment. And there are way too many bad actors who take advantage of their marginalized status in order to try and smear other people. This is something that people do. Like, I've even seen other trans people try to smear cis people they don't like as transphobic without them actually doing anything transphobic.
True.
They try to weaponize their marginalized status in order to gain the upper hand on another person. And it's always wrong to do. Although what you're describing is not unique to the LGBT community, this kind of oppression, Olympics bullying, is a big problem in general. It is a big problem in general, but I think it takes on a very unique form within the LGBT community and especially within the trans community. Like, there's no other place besides the trans community where someone would say, you transitioned young and this is a privilege and you shouldn't speak for other trans people. That's not a thing that people who aren't trans would say.
Yeah, I feel like that's totally fair. I think that's completely fair.
Your person chat needs to go and read Holostatic Load. Fantastic article, the kind of trans feminine disposability that Keffals has been on the receiving end. Interesting.
Trans feminine disposability.
This one article, and I want to see if I can find it. Okay, yeah. So there was an article, and I really like showing people this article because I think it explains a little bit of why this happens. So it was an extra article. It was called Why Queer People Are So Mean to Each Other. I'm just going to like cut right into it, the part that I think is very pertinent. Leading experts in the field of neurobiology, trauma treatment, and somatics theorize that trauma, broadly defined as exposure to stress or life danger that overwhelms the body's capacity to cope, has a profound impact on the development of the brain and nervous system. Repeated trauma, especially the trauma of violence, abuse, and neglect, has a particular effect on the ways that human beings process and respond to social interactions. In short, if we are repeatedly exposed to danger through the behavior of other humans, we come to see all humans as inherently dangerous. And all of our primal instincts are shaped around treating other humans as potential threats. Let's apply that.
I think that's so true. Like that's such a good point. Like, it's literally true. You're conditioned to be able to respond in familiar situations. Like, so if every time you interact with other people, you get misgendered and it hurts, and someone dismisses your trauma and it hurts, and someone calls you fucking stupid and it hurts. Like, you start to associate any interaction with other human beings as being potentially harmful, and so you tend to want to isolate. Like, this is also part of why abuse victims have a tendency to be extreme loners later in life. Like, they have a tendency to want to, like, because like after the abuse has stopped, like if you're a victim of childhood abuse, like I was, like your parent like escalates and then they fucking hit you and then they go away. Like once they hit you, that starts to diffuse their anger. They've like let out the steam a little bit. They've punished you. And then they go away and they leave you alone. So you start to associate the aloneness with safety. You start to associate the aloneness with calm, you know? Time to go on a pronouns changing room and try it. It's true. Oh my gosh, Gayfesh says in middle school, if someone said my name, more times than not, it was someone getting my attention in order for them to bully me. So for a while, if anyone said my name, I was instantly on edge. That is so stressful. Oh my God. That sounds terrible. It's like when your mom uses your full name, you know? Like, oh yeah, you know, anytime, any normal time, she's like, oh, Chris, you know, da 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 da. But when she calls you like Christopher, you know that your fucking ass is green. Yeah, anyway.
That theory to queers. Now, sociological research tells us that queer and trans people are disproportionately likely to experience abuse, sexual violence, homelessness, and bullying in childhood and adolescence. Even those of us who somehow managed to escape outright abuse and neglect still grew up in a world where we needed to keep secrets, where at any moment we might come across someone who hated us or wished us harm because of who we are, where our basic rights and dignity might be taken away at the whim of the next politician to take office. The result of all of this exposure to trauma, to the very real threat of violence and ostracization from our family, friends, and entire society, is that queers as a collective sustain serious trauma to our internal sense of ourselves and others. In his widely read 2014 opus, The Body Keeps the Score, psychiatrist and trauma expert Bessel van der Kolk writes that the memory of trauma is encoded in the body in the form of intense sensations and physical reactions, such as chronic pain, numbness, labored breathing, nausea, movement impulse, and infinite others.
True, but if you try prolonged exposure therapy or EMDR, you can clear those physical symptoms out of your body. Hi, my name's Luxander. Did you know that you can do about 3 months of prolonged exposure therapy once a week? And if you do the homework that your therapist sends you home with, then you too can clear out all of the very stupid fucking trauma symptoms from your body. Do you find yourself waking up crying in the middle of the night? Do you find yourself jumping at the slightest noise? Try prolonged exposure and see what a difference it can make for you. That sounded like a joke, but I mean, because I was using the format of the antidepressant commercial as a joke, but also, that's not a fucking joke. More queer people need to take control and do 3 fucking months of prolonged exposure therapy, and you won't do this stupid shit anymore. Yes, you should try prolonged exposure therapy. All right, come on.
Psychologist and inventor of somatic experience trauma resolution Peter Levine teaches that these sensations can be categorized as belonging to ancient primal survival mechanisms rooted in the nervous system: flight, fight, and freeze. These primal strategies shape our emotions and our thoughts and our basic beliefs about ourselves and the world. What happens to a community of people who have been raised with sensation of constant looming danger, of being fundamentally wrong in the way we love and express ourselves? What impact might that collective trauma have upon our bodies and spirits? Scholars of the brain are fond of...
Hey, I recognize that being on Medicare will help, but also if you can find your local sliding scale clinic, I get therapy for like $15 per session or something shit like crazy like that, okay? IDK about prolonged exposure therapy, but does being exposed to the bullshit I have been for the past decade and a half and then becoming jaded good enough? The thing about trauma is that it's mostly about not having the space and the ability to process what's happened to you. The more you compartmentalize, the worse it is. Anyway.
Saying what fires together wires together, which refers to the brain's tendency to form neural networks that become stronger and stronger every time they are used. Trauma theory holds that traumatized individuals, and I would hypothesize queer and trans...
True, Emily Hargrave. It's much easier to believe it's everyone else's job to accommodate your trauma and not do anything to trigger you. True.
Community as a whole have well-worn neural networks shaped around the deeply held physical sensation that we are constantly in danger, that we are bad and unlovable, that others are untrustworthy and violent. Every time we are abused, discriminated against, or neglected, those neural networks become stronger, while neural networks associated with safety and loving relationships atrophy. We become physically less capable of imagining a world where being with others is not synonymous with being unsafe.
True.
So that's the crux. This, I believe, is why traumatized communities struggle so profoundly with loving one another. We have been hardwired for suspicion and terror of betrayal, which in turn feeds into the logics of disposability and incarceration. We come to believe that making a mistake, any mistake, whether big or small, makes someone bad and dangerous. We believe that we need to punish people who are bad and dangerous, that some people are simply too bad and too dangerous to keep among us. Yeah. Okay, come on with the Among Us jokes. Seriously.
Yeah.
Link to the article? Yeah, it's right here. I'll link it in both chats. So
I really love that article. I would really like to read that article, I think, in depth. That generally, though, like, I appreciate that perspective. I don't actually know that I need to go too far in depth on that article, considering that, like, I think I've already said a lot of the things that I could say about it. But, like, I appreciate Keffals for bringing that up. That's a really great point. All of this, like, we associate being around people with danger we associate each other with negativity. Like, I honestly think it's really important for us to, this is part of why it's important for us to establish good social connections within these communities, because we need to start teaching ourselves that interacting with other people is not the end of the world. Like, that interacting with other people is going to be beneficial to us, you know, that like if we join a Discord server, like you could join the Discord server associated with this channel, that's going to be an opportunity for you to make friends and play games with people and make constructive relationships, not a space where you're going to enter it and be like, fuck, am I going to use this person's wrong pronouns? Like, are these people going to be super pissed off at me? Like, are these going to be like, are they going to like kick me out because I asked why it's okay for people to use its pronouns? Like, no, you can just ask questions. Like, it's not a big deal, you know? Like, we want to foster communities where, you know, you can ask the questions, and sometimes people can be like, I'm not in the fucking mood to answer this question right now, and like, you know, people can rotate out the opportunity for like, okay, like I'm not in the mood to answer this question, but I have the mental capacity for it, you know, this right now, like to be able to switch out, provide community and support to say like, hey, learning is not like bad, you know, it's a good thing that you're asking the questions. A lot of leftist Discord communities are cesspools for gatekeeping. Well, our Discord community has not conducted any gatekeeping. It's perhaps not busy enough for there to be gatekeeping, but you should join it anyway. Being with others is being unsafe. Everyone could be dangerous. Alone is best, says Mountains of the Moon. I mean, it's the same. I hope it's apparent. The cis women were getting at this too. Oh, wait, what are you talking about? Are you bringing up something else? You might be bringing up something else. I might have missed a comment earlier in the chat too. Yeah, Mersh, I've been seeing your comments. Like, it's hard learning how to like hide your feelings, navigating being visibly intersex and everything. Dochord's a pretty okay and relatively ungatekeepy lefty server. The people there are nice. I just realized that I think Doe was in my dream last night. I cannot remember any other specifics, but I am just realizing as you brought up Doe, and I haven't thought about Doe at all today, that Doe was in my dream last night. Why? I am not even friends with Doe. Doe responded to me on Twitter, but otherwise doesn't fucking fuck with me. So like, why? I don't know. Anyway, my brain is weird. True, Game Gang. Damn, Doe doing the neural net subspace travel a bit recently. It's true. Like, why? Why did I dream and Doe was in there? I don't know. Dochord was in my dream last night because I woke up in the middle of the night and started chatting with Dochord before passing out again. Fair enough. Mersh, don't cast aspersions on me that the only reason I think about Doe is because they're cute. I mean, obviously Doe is cute, but that's not the only reason I would dream of it. Anyway, something about being a prophetic deer thing. True. Doe is a prophet.
The best explanation I could think of for this behavior, because it's extremely carceral. It's extremely carceral behavior. And coming from a community of people who, for the most part, do not like the police, it's kind of crazy how much that they're willing to emulate these carceral behaviors, where when someone in the community is deemed bad, you need to remove them.
That's why you know they're liberals and not leftists. Cute is actually a big magnifying force for magic. Well, oh my god, I must be like so magical then, because I am just like so heckin' cute. Just gonna go ahead and shoot myself in the face for doing such a terrible soft boy aesthetic right then. Oh no, shit, hold on. Ah! I'm dropping my crochet work on the floor. That's not good. I want that to not be on the floor. Rip in pieces. Okay. That's fine for now. Oh, Rose Boy. Don't call me Rose Boy. I will fucking lose my shit. I'm kidding. Don't.
As an example of this carceral behavior that I'm talking about, this is pretty apt. So this was back on September 4th. Okay, so now that Cloudflare has dropped Kiwi Farms, can we stop ignoring the fact that Keffals is racist? Because I remember a lot of folks saying that we should just leave it alone until the bad side is dealt with. So surely now we can acknowledge that she's racist and disown her, yeah? And that's like what I mean by the carceral behavior. Yeah, can't disown who isn't yours. I mean, that's a thing too. I think there's one thing that really pisses people off where like a lot of trans people do not want me to have a platform, but they also can't take that platform away from me, which really fucking pisses them off.
Cheers.
But that's fine. I think Vosh called this person a dipshit. They deserve it. But yeah, it's just like with these allegations that I'm calling.
Yeah, Dank Catlord, they're just trying to avoid people who name search. Like, if you spelled Keffals normally, then if you typed Keffals in the search, then this tweet would show up. But they said Keffals, so it's dodging the search function.
Constantly dealing with. It's like they're not actually based on anything substantive, but because they get said enough, people take it as fact. And that's the thing. It's like at a certain point, it doesn't need to even be true for people to actually continuously say it and believe it. Why would trans people not want me to have this platform? Because they don't like me. It's very simple. They don't like me and they spread lies about me constantly that are based on very little. Like the start of the racism allegations was literally because I added the Italian flag to the fucking progress flag as a joke. I'm not even joking. Like that was the start of it. That was actually the start of it. It always kind of fuck right now, but this was 2 years ago. But it's like, I know that it's not true. It's pretty obvious that it's not true, but they don't need it to be true. And this is sort of what I mean about the weaponization of social justice rhetoric, where people start lobbing accusations at you. And then you have an entire echo chamber of Tenderqueers who are saying the same thing. And then if enough people are saying it, people start to think, okay, well, maybe there's some merit to this. A lot of people are saying this, but that's not how that
Many people are saying this. True.
works. If you encourage setting boundaries, hashing out conflicts, and actually getting things done, these people will crawl out of the woodwork to destroy you by any means they can come up with. Oh yeah, they only crawl out of the woodwork when I'm in some sort of like viral moment. They crawl out of the woodwork and reignite this controversy about me, and then they stop talking about me until the next thing happens. And part of the reason that I wanted to address this in the first place is because I wanted my community to know they are not part of the community. They're not part of my community. They're not good people to have around. They do.
Yeah, I don't think that we really have any issues with woke scolds in our community, because I think that I've already very thoroughly managed to like tell them to fuck off. Like, I'm still a fan of ContraPoints. Like, I still am a fan of Vosh. Like, honestly, like, if I could be personal friends with some of these super toxic people, I probably would. I'd rather be like personal friends with Ethan Klein than associate myself with any fucking woke scold, you know? They went after ContraPoints. Katja, the shit with ContraPoints is like, ContraPoints has been long since canceled since like 2 fucking years ago. Like, it's like literally like I've been blocked by personal friends over my continuing to think that ContraPoints is not hate. She doesn't hate non-binary people. Like, it's so fucking stupid.
Do not help. They don't actually know what solidarity is. They don't know what building bridges is. They don't know how to function outside of insular echo chambers. And the only way to make change in this world is to talk to people that you have nothing in common with. Honestly, I think you should just stop giving these people the attention they want. I mean, like, I usually ignore them, but I've wanted to address this for a while. It needed to be addressed. This is a serious issue in the community that no one is willing to talk about because no one wants to endure the wrath of the community by talking about it, but I don't give a shit. I just don't care. Like, if I can withstand the entirety of the heat of Kiwi Farms, I can say that there are a lot of toxic people in the trans community who attack their own community more than they do anything that materially benefits their community. I don't want to be quiet about it. Like, some people have said to me that one of the issues that they don't like about me is that I won't rein my community in, and I won't. I don't think any of you did anything wrong. Like, honestly, I think more of the Tenderqueers need pushback. I don't think that they should feel as comfortable as they do lobbing accusations left and right in an effort to like slander people through Oppression Olympics. If I do something fucked up,
honestly, like, I think that it's entirely possible that Keffals might have the like resources behind her to come after people for libel. Like, to actually sue some of these people for libel. I really doubt that she would do it, but I think she could, and it would be legally sound to do so.
I'm willing to own up to it. I'm not above criticism, but a lot of the criticism isn't based on actual criticism. It's not based on anything except vibes. I think the perverse incentives of social media lead to a lot of these behaviors. Even alternative social media like Mastodon had problems with genderqueer drama. But yeah, no. Like, I noticed this with people like Twink Bride and other Tenderqueers. They basically turned their accounts into Keffals hate accounts.
Oh, no.
And I'm not even joking
accounts.
because they realized,
hey, welcome to the website, Ace Strider. Welcome. I appreciate you coming over.
They could get good engagement by doing that. And I think they're so fucking addicted to the updates from running these accounts at this point that they just can't stop. Like, every fucking thing besides talking about me flops. Oh yeah, no, I remember when Twink Bride...
Yeah. You gotta, like, you turn your brand into being a Keffals drama streamer.
Was complaining that I was showing cleavage on stream. Because at the end of the day, the Tenderqueers don't actually have values, at least values that they're willing to talk about publicly. Like, a lot of it is virtue signaling. It's literally just like trying to show that they have the best morals or the most virtuous. How dare I show cleavage on stream? I know, it's so fucking weird to get mad at.
How dare you, Keffals, show cleavage on stream? I'm trying to fucking listen to the words that you're saying, and the cleavage is distracting from the words that you're saying. Like, I'm trying to respect you as a woman, but disrespectfully, the booba is distracting me. Re-booba true.
About that? How do you tell someone is virtue signaling or genuinely doing something they believe in? That is a good question. And that's actually a hard thing to tell. If they only publicly talk about disagreements they have with you, even when they're supposedly working towards the same goals, that's a good clue. Honestly, that is true. Okay, so here's a good example of, like, the manipulation of social justice rhetoric in order to attack people. So like what Twink Bride was saying here. I made a tweet. I only run mass blocks on large tweets that are spreading misinformation about me. It keeps my main account not having dogshit replies filled with Nazis and Kiwi farmers. If you get hit by a stray, you can DM me here. That's always been the rule. And the response to this, when I'm talking about Nazis and Kiwi farmers, was truly wild how Keffals and Aaron will chain block half of Black trans Twitter and then call them Nazis. Like, literally me trying
so
as
hard.
a trans person who is consistently targeted by fascists, a racist, because I'm trying to keep myself from getting harassed. It's just like, this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of tenderqueer shit I mean. It's literally just manipulation of issues that people care about in order to smear someone. Like, maybe this excuse works on your audience of 16 to 20-year-olds who don't follow any Black people, but people talk to each other. We know you're lying. They can't even get their stories straight. I blocked half of Black trans Twitter because they are Nazis. Aaron, I accidentally went through a series of specific clicks that result in blocking half of Black trans Twitter. Aaron ran a chain block on a tweet by a Kiwi. Like, people were sharing around, she did this shit. Like, she's a fucking heinous person. Like, where was it? Here's Twink Bride sharing Discord logs of me talking to a Kiwi Farms user where I'm literally just fucking trolling the guy. And Aaron, being someone who had a Kiwi Farms thread, felt very triggered even seeing the name Winter. Is it the fail docs log? That wasn't a fail docs. That was actually, unless he wants to show his driver's license, I'm going to assume it was real, and he said it was a fail docs.
I can't be bothered to be angry at people on the internet. I have to save the tears for my monologues in the mirror. What monologues have you tried recently? Which, are you doing any Shakespeare?
But also, I didn't dox him. He self-published his own information. Doxing is the public publishing of information, which I did not do. So, like, Twink Bride was willing to share the chat logs of a Kiwi Farms user in order to fucking instigate harassment against me. Like, I don't have 6 figures in a fucking savings account. Why the fuck would I be honest about my finances with a Kiwi Farms user? That doesn't make any sense. But she doesn't care because she's doing the tenderqueer tactic, right? It's like, all right, I know racism bad, and I know that
I think the Winter you're thinking of is someone's girlfriend, and I don't think that's the same Winter.
that I can manipulate people into thinking Keffals racist, and I think Keffals bad. Therefore, I can make other people think Keffals bad by labeling Keffals as a bigot. And that's how this shit goes. And that's why these people are dangerous to the community, because they're not actually accountable. They're allowed to just get away with this, and this behavior is encouraged even. And it's like saying, like, if I managed to grift $100,000 by using the image of racist police murders and then had to block half of Black trans Twitter after calling a Black trans femme a cancer for calling out said, it's just, this isn't serious. This is really just fucking virtue.
I love this new leftist thing where we call people deeply unserious. Is like, am I wrong in thinking like this is like one of the most intense things that a leftist can say about someone now? Like, it's one of the most dismissive things you can say about someone is like, this is a deeply unserious person. Like, I just don't take anything you say seriously. Winter is one of Keffals' main stalkers. I see. I see.
signaling, right? Like if I gave thousands of dollars to random GoFundMes and Cash Apps, no one would fucking know. And if I were to publicly talk about it, people would accuse me of only doing this because people are making accusations.
True. Like you could be helping homeless people every fucking other day. But if you tell anyone, people are gonna be like, oh my God, you're clout sharking so hard. And it's like, well, I just wanted to like give someone like $100 because I had $100 and I also wanted to take a photo with them. Like, I don't know, like to prove that it happened, because otherwise people are gonna say I'm not charitable enough. Like, yeah, how, like it's a fucking catch-22. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Against me that I'm a bigot, right? So it's a catch-22 where what they're doing is they're trying to signal that I'm a bad person because I'm not giving my money away. But if I did do that, I would also be a bad person. Then she called me a grifter. I don't make any money on this platform, and I donate to Black trans people almost every week. I highlight Black fundraisers under my viral posts. So much projection. But it's something I believe. Like, I don't think that you need to make money to be a grifter. Like, if you're trying to build a platform, which she obviously is, otherwise she wouldn't need to keep engaging in this stuff, then...
I think that is the one good thing that Peter Coffin gave the world. Like, Keffals just said, you don't have to make money to be a grifter. Like, I do think that there is some social capital to it, you know, like that you might get some social benefit from doing this, even though... and like maybe it might result in some donations or whatever, but mostly it's like so that you are proving that you are better than the next person. You know, you have to prove that there is someone who is not as woke as you are.
She does not have an issue making stuff up if it gets her likes and it results in attacking the reputation of the people that she views as an enemy. And it's like, she's accusing me of lying about a police encounter, which now has made it so I am routinely getting accused by other trans people of lying about the police encounter when there is nothing that I lied about. It doesn't even make sense. And it's like, I have to keep going over it, right? But we all know it's true. They don't believe in victims. They're actually victim blaming quite hard here.
True.
And they think it's virtuous because I'm not as marginalized as other people who she claims I'm an enemy of. So it's like in this thread where she's trying to prove that I am a terrible person, she's victim blaming someone who is the victim of police violence and also trying to drag them through the mud. And it's crazy. And they want me to relive trauma, right? Because it's like the only way for me to disprove this is to constantly like drudge up the memories in my mind of being woken up to police shouting at me and pointing a fucking assault rifle at me. But they don't care. And this is why I thought it was important to address this, because these are not the kinds of people you can trust or consider community. Even if they're nice to you at the start, they will absolutely throw you under the bus if they...
That's the difference between being nice and being kind. Like, they'll be nice to your face, but then they'll fuck you over later.
Can see it benefiting them in some way. Not every person who is part of the LGBT community is actually part of your community. A psycho rants from yesterday? Yeah, it is. And it has so much fucking engagement only because there's been so much fucking, I don't even know the word to describe it. I'm a minority until the infighting happens, and then I'm the most privileged person in the conversation, which is fucking insane.
True.
Like, I can't fucking fathom it. It doesn't make any sense. Keffals, but your trauma is no longer convenient for them, and you're now viewed as more influential than them. That means that anything positive for you is perceived as a threat to them. The one thing that I hate is that I don't want anything to do with them. I feel like the Tenderqueers in the community are actively a detriment to the entire movement, to any real change or any effort that we could possibly undertake in order to protect our rights. And every fucking move I make, like they are like fucking latching onto me like leeches trying to suck all the blood out of me. Watch as me saying that is going to be used as like evidence for bigotry or some shit because I'm not allowed to have feelings. I'm not allowed to say
calling someone a vampire is anti-Semitic or something. I don't know.
Anything that's off script. It's so fucking stupid. So anyway, I don't even know what the takeaway is or what the conclusion of this is. I just wanted to say that is what a tenderqueer is. Do not treat them. You shouldn't treat them as a member of your community because they will hurt you actively any given chance they can if they see it benefiting them. They are not interested in the common good of all people in their community. They're only looking after themselves and their best interests.
Yeah. So I appreciated the whole video. There were plenty of asides that we took during that video. Overall, like, I'm really just glad that this is being talked about on a broader platform than it has previously been seen, because I've been bitching about this for a long time. I've been saying for a long time, like, for a while, my entire friend group was SJWs because that's just where I happened to find myself. I was like, oh, these people are progressive. They'll respect my pronouns. But then like all of the interpersonal, like the cutthroat interpersonal shit, I was like, I can't do this. Like my fear of abandonment is being constantly triggered because like I know that if I ask the wrong questions, I will be excommunicated. And like at the time it wasn't as important for me financially, but now it is a big deal financially. And like I can't deal with being in a community with people who are just gonna like turn on you suddenly and be like, rip, you know, sucks to be you. Like you're not gonna you're just gonna have to like deal with being forced to conform. Like it's thought policing, like to an extent. There's like thought policing, you know. I hate giving any ground to the conservatives who bitch about this behavior, but like I can't like give the conservatives that much power to say like that I can't even criticize behavior happening within my own community, that I can't talk about the fact that I deserve a place to speak my own mind without being overly policed by other people who feel like my experience is somehow a threat to their experience, you know, like it's not useful. And I'm glad that more people are talking about this. I'm honestly, the thing that I'm most worried about is Keffals mentioned that she was not getting very much pushback for this video. And I worry almost like more than anything that this is going to fizzle out and that there's not going to be broader discussion. Like if bigger creators picked up on this, like if Vosh and Demon Mama and Xander Hall all talked about the Tenderqueer issue all at the same time as Keffals, and here I am adding my voice to the Tenderqueer issue conversation, like the Tenderqueer question. I think that it is worthwhile to really stand up and say fuck you to these woke scold pieces of shit who do make progress slower, who do make this coalition building harder, you know, who do genuinely threaten the livelihood of people who, like myself, are boxed out of traditional employment and trying to make it, you know. I feel like it could hit less well from Xander Hall than Keffals. Xander Hall, I'm just saying, like, has made content like this before, like criticizing this type of behavior before. So obviously he's not within the queer community, so it hits different coming from him. Like Vosh can talk about it and at least be from within the queer community, if not within the trans community. So I would just like to see there being more discussion about this. Like I really would like to see more coalition building, and I would like it if we could band together more and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna dump this person just because they're kind of problematic, or like that there was some accusation at some point that was not fully substantiated. And then, like, you know, when you ask like what is the accusation and can you substantiate it, they go like, it's racist of you to ask me for evidence of their whatever. Like, okay, calm the fuck down, you know. Like I wish things were different. I mean, TLDR, I wish things were different. It would be nice. I don't like Xander Hall because he has done some pretty bigoted things before. Cops Hate Mo has made some pretty good videos criticizing him. I haven't watched any of Cops Hate Mo's videos in a while, so I don't remember any of the specific criticisms of Xander Hall. I don't have any specific issues with Xander Hall that I know of at the moment off the top of my head. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just unaware of the specific... Oh, mostly the usage of the R slur. Well, I have no room to talk about the usage of the R slur, so I can't hold him to account on that one, really. Yeah, Jeet is picking up what I'm putting down here as far as the frustrations. Like, I remember when people were fighting over bi lesbians during Pride Month while trans rights were being actively taken away. I mean, sometimes I use it in a reclaiming way, but I mean, sometimes I don't. I mean, mostly mostly when I want to use the R slur in a way that's not reclaiming, I go like, oh, I need to not say that word. and then I make a big deal about how I'm not saying a slur. Cops Hate Mo and Zan had a good convo a long time ago. Oh, I don't remember them doing that. That's really cool. I don't remember them having that conversation. Juniper says, I know some people like Xander Hall, but I think he's a bit too sensitive to criticism. Like, if you're going to use the R slur, you have to be prepared to stand up to criticism. As someone who reclaims slurs myself. Yeah, I basically have so far, anytime that I've used a slur, I've felt like I've been well justified in doing so, and that I feel like I have a good explanation for what I'm doing. We're kind of slowing down a little bit here toward the end. I'm not sure how much longer we're going to keep going. So if you're here and you didn't know this, I've been living with my partner for 12 years and we're about to separate. So if you want to help me with purchasing like a fucking bed, because I don't have a bed or most kitchen stuff that a person needs in their kitchen, consider checking out the links in the chat. Oh, that was not the right link in the chat. But yeah, life's hard. Your boy provides an entertainment service. I would appreciate your assistance, or if you want to share the GoFundMe, that would be great. Because, holy shit, separating from your partner after more than a decade is a very bad time. What about that time you said nothing, just text for funny slur joke? Haha. You did not do the spoiler. You have to do 2 of these on either side. You have to do 2 of them and then another 2 of them at the end, and that's how you do spoilers. Jeet says, I refuse to even get into kink discourse because it keeps being used as a distraction while our rights are being taken away. Yeah, so I do think that maybe we erred. I think we made a mistake, perhaps, in that we indulged the whole kink at Pride discourse. Because here's the thing, like, at the end of the day, it is... I mean, it is a slippery slope argument. Like, I mean, it literally is. Like, you're like, oh, if you wear collars, then that implies the kink, and then the kids are going to know about the kink or whatever. Like, the place that has now led us is that if you cross-dress, that's a kink. And so if you're cross-dressing in public, then you're exposing children to a kink, and that's pedophilia. And they are running with that in certain places, like in Florida. In Florida, Governor DeSantis, I believe, did instigate a lawsuit against a drag lunch bar kind of thing, where it was like, if you're doing drag during the day, then children could be around, even if children are not explicitly invited at this event. And cross-dressing under some very old Florida law is considered sexually debaucherous behavior. Then, you know, any trans person who doesn't pass, any trans person who seems like they might be cross-dressing, quote unquote, in public, is then conducting a sex act. And if there are children around, then they are conducting a pedophilic act, and therefore they're deserving of all of the violent response that pedophiles receive. Not just pedophiles, but child abusers, because there is a distinction there between like people who have the urge to do something versus people who actually do a thing and hurt people. You know, there is a distinction. Baphomet, yeah, we might be ending soon, actually, because we are going to stream tomorrow, and I want to save my voice so that we can stream tomorrow. So if you're going to go do some chores, we might not be seeing each other again tonight, but I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, I hate DeSantis. Corbarian said, I was in an argument with a pick-me a few days ago, and I referred to myself as a tranny and a faggot, and they got so mad. It's always frustrating, but kind of funny. I'm like, I can't be friends with most queer people anymore, you know? Like, I see another trans person, and I'm like, hey, it's another tranny, and I'm like, I can't be friends with anybody anymore. Like, And Jolly says, not kink related, but BDSM related. I think lots of violent men pose as doms and try to promote the consensual non-consent thing. That's a potential issue. Yeah. I personally don't know a lot about it, but I feel like Kat Black has talked about that a lot. Where like there are people who use kink as a way to get away with doing shit that's not okay to do, actually. Cross-dressing used to be very illegal. Yeah, and the thing about these cross-dressing laws is that a lot of them are still on the books. Like, even if they're not enforced. There are sodomy laws that are still on the books. Like, I think in Kansas, where I live, like, anal sex is illegal. Sodomy is illegal, you know? Wearing the shirt of a boy person as a they, a she even. Never realized I was so sexually explicit. True. I really want a crop top that says like girl fag or something like that. Like, can I have that? How do you get that? How can I add that to my Amazon wish list? Would one of you buy me a shirt that said like girl fag or boy dyke or something? That would be so amazing. She Who Knows No Name says, where I live, that sort of, ayo, it's another tranny would be loved. Is that surprising for a uni? Maybe. You could always get it custom printed. I know. I do actually know of a couple places locally that do custom prints and stuff, you know. I just want to not, like, that's like a frivolous purchase, you know. Like, I don't really need to spend money on clothing that has slurs on it, you know. Doe probably knows that's why it was in your dream. True. A shirt that says tranny fag would be cool. I mean, honestly, I would wear a shirt that said that. We're definitely in territory of like, I think that would be hilarious and fun to have some clothing that really, you know, it's really like about self-expression, you know, it's really about like letting your inner self be like on display, you know, like if I'm a fag, I want everybody to know that about me. Oh my God, I'm losing it. We're losing the threads here. My uni is seemingly 70% queer though, so maybe that breeds a different culture. I mean, I guess if you're around a bunch of trannies, then it maybe is a little bit different. However, it's somehow the on-site bar attracts the cishets like moths. They only seem to exist there. Maybe it's inexpensive on the on-site bar. I don't know. It's so hard to say. Maybe I should go ahead and just open my P.O. box finally, and then somebody can send me a shirt that says like boy dyke or girl fag or both. Can I have a shirt that says boy dyke and girl fag on it? I am both of those things. I'm a boy dyke and a girl fag. That's amazing. I prefer music clothing over political clothes personally. I mean, that's fair. I just want a crop top. I need booty shorts, but for that, game gang, I need some booty shorts that say girl fag on them. That would be fucking amazing. Okay. Here's the thing. I've done a good job of not hurting my voice. I think I'm gonna start to tire out my throat if I go too much further. I had surgery earlier this week on my mouth, in my throat. So I'm going to go ahead and probably head out now. Again, my outfit inspiration is mostly deer-based. True. Okay. I am so deeply appreciative. When you move, are you looking for apartments in Kansas? I'm going to stay in Kansas. Here's the thing. You all are so nice with your donations and everything. I can only afford to live by myself if I stay where I am. Like, I can't afford to live in Washington and like live alone. And it's important to me when I move into my new place to live alone. So I'm going to stay in Kansas. I'm going to stay relatively local for now. So I'm hoping that it'll still be relatively inexpensive. Did you get my Discord DM about the vid? I did get your Discord DM. I'll check back with you probably tomorrow. At this point in the night, I'm getting really tired. And I have an upload that I finished today that I need to upload. And then everything that you uploaded for me, Guitar Rocker, will probably be for next week. We'll arrange everything and I'll pay you and everything. Okay. I'm getting tired. Thank you so much for all of your participation and support, everyone. Today was a good stream. I will see you tomorrow at around noon. Okay? So thank you. I love you. Take care of yourself. I'll see you later.